Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the October 15th, 2025 meeting of the City of Newport News Planning Commission. Ms. Brown, please call roll.
Commissioner Bowditch,
Here.
Commissioner Michaud,
Here.
Commissioner Williams,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
Commissioner Stacho.
Here.
Commissioner Black,
Here.
Chairperson Taylor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown. I'd like to recognize Commissioner Satchel for the creed, please.
The Newport News Planning Commission is mandated by state law, and its members are appointed by City Council. Section 15.2-2210 of the Code of Virginia states in part that every locality shall create a planning commission in order to promote the orderly development of the locality and its environment. The statutory purpose is to improve the public health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the citizens, and to plan the future development of the communities. In serving this statutory purpose, the Commission invites the comments at the public hearing of its interested citizens of matters before it and welcomes your presence. Chairperson Taylor, I move we adopt the agenda before us.
So moved.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda and creed is accepted. The next we go with the invocation by Commissioner Michaud.
Father, we always thank you for the opportunity that we have to serve one another, and so we just ask that you would continue to help us to model civility, help us to continue to model what it looks like to practice the highest of ethics, which is one of service to one another, and then especially during this election season, Lord, help us in our city to continue to be a place of curiosity and civility and collaboration, and it's in your name, amen.
Amen. Next, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance being led by Commissioner Williams.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is we are in discussion of the minutes from the September 17th meeting. I'd like to think that all commissioners had an opportunity to review that. Do you have any changes, corrections, or enhancements to the agenda from that meeting?
Move for approval of the minutes as submitted.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and approved. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes from the September 17th meeting as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. So with that, we'll move right into the public meeting. The first item on the agenda is a special exception. SC tag 2025 tag 0013, Toby Homes LLC. And that will be presented to us today by planner Ms. O'Keefe.
Yes, good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Today I'll be presenting application SE 2025-13 by Toby Homes, the applicant and the owner, to construct a two-story, single-family detached dwelling on a non-conforming lot of record with less than 50 feet of frontage. Here's the property. It is located at 1324 25th Street and contains 0.0861 acres. And here's an image of the property currently. This is an aerial map of the property with the property highlighted in yellow. To the north are Greater Revival Tabernacle and single-family homes, zoned R4 single-family dwelling. And to the south, east, and west are single-family homes and a vacant parcel. Here is a zoning map of the property. The property, as well as surrounding properties, are zoned R4 single-family dwelling and have been since the citywide comprehensive rezoning became effective August 1st, 1997. Section 45-3204E2 of the zoning ordinance states the Board of Zoning Appeals may grant a special exception to improve a non-conforming lot of record having less than 50 feet of frontage with a single-family detached dwelling, provided that A, the single-family dwelling shall be 2 stories or of similar design to abutting structures. The proposed dwelling meets this requirement and will be 2 stories with a front porch of similar design to the majority of the single-family homes on the block. B, the front yard setback of the single-family dwelling shall be the average of the setbacks of existing buildings on the block, but not less than 10 feet. The proposed front yard setback will be 13 feet to the covered front porch, which meets the average of the block and the 10-foot minimum required setback. C, the minimum side yard setback shall be 5 feet. The side building setbacks are shown as 5.25 feet along the eastern and western property lines, meeting the minimum setback requirement. And D, an attached or detached garage shall be provided. However, if the garage is attached, it shall be attached on the side of the dwelling and recessed 18 feet from the front of the dwelling or attached in the rear of the dwelling. The plan includes an attached garage recessed 18 feet from the front of the dwelling. The proposed dwelling shall be in harmony with the appearance of surrounding properties and shall not create a harmful effect to the neighborhood. To incorporate the adjacent and surrounding styles of homes on the block, the home will have a front porch with a 6-foot depth, traditional double-hung windows, and a hip roof line facing the street. As well, for the exterior of the home, brick material for the first floor elevation and for the foundation, along with heavy gauge vinyl, have been added as conditions of approval. In conclusion, the proposed request to construct a 2-story single-family dwelling on a non-conforming 37.5-foot wide lot meets all applicable criteria stipulated in the zoning ordinance. Planning staff recommends that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the Board of Zoning Appeals for Special Exception SE 2025-13, allowing the construction of a single-family detached dwelling on a non-conforming lot of record with less than 50 feet of frontage, subject to 9 conditions, including that 1, the applicant shall submit building elevations, including exterior building materials and colors, to the Department of Planning to be reviewed and approved by the Director of Planning prior to the issuance of a building permit. 2, the foundation, front porch steps, and first floor elevation shall be made of brick material. 3, that any vinyl siding on the home shall be made of heavy gauge quality with a minimum thickness of 0.44 millimeters, and 4, all other standard conditions. The 9 conditions are detailed in the staff report and will be part of the BZA approval. And finally, are there any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Okiki. Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Okiki?
Maybe for the applicant.
Not a question, but a clarification.
Yes, sir.
On the plan set, the door into the entry into the house from the garage is missing a door, but I'm sure they'll catch that in construction.
Yeah. That was on the plan. There was a door missing on the design.
Oh, okay, yes, we will let the builder know and have them make that correction.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, I saw all the conditions. So the brick on the front porch, it's going to go all the way across over the front door, that whole front porch area,
Yes.
even though it's not drawn like that. That's what it's going to do.
Okay, yes, it seems the brick will go on the first floor as well as on the foundation.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
So the picture, the last picture is a good representation of what
Yes,
it will look
the
like.
picture is a good representation of
Great.
what the final home will
Okay.
look like.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Quick question for you. I guess I can ask you in the building. The development itself is not going to require or is not calling for any additional off-street parking, is it?
No,
I didn't think it
just
was.
the driveway and the garage will be the components that allow for parking.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions for Ms. Okiki?
Not a question, but I don't like vinyl siding. We've all talked about the vinyl siding in the past, and
Yep.
we
I
don't,
think
we
it's
don't like it.
I think it is good that it got heavy gauge quality. but
Right,
You're
she's-
right, Mr.
That is something, yes, yes. Thank you, Ms. Okiki.
Okay, thank you.
With that being said, I'd like to declare the public hearing is open. And I have one card in front of me. I saw another one floating around. Thank you. Okay, now I have two cards. The first one is the applicant, a representative of the applicant is here. So could you come forward, Mr. Gray? Mr. Graves? Please state your name, your address.
Roy Graves, 900 Daffia Circle, apartment 123, Newport News, Virginia, 23601.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Graves, Mr. Graves.
Yeah, Graves. Yeah.
We will have any questions he's the developer. Yes, Mr. Commissioner Williams.
I know you've have been before us with several houses, correct?
Yeah, I'm basically speaking on his behalf.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but yeah, Toby Holmes, yes, correct.
The houses that you intend to build, they are for single occupancy? Are they for
Correct.
homeowners? You're not making these as investment property?
No,
The-
single homes to live in,
okay.
the purchase, correct.
From given the opportunity to do this build, from the time you break ground to the completion, what did it usually run for you guys?
Time frame,
Time frame from start to finish?
roughly within 6 months. 6 months.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Graves? Thank you, Mr. Graves, very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
The next item we have on this one is, I have a card from Ms. Faye Blackwell. Please, if she wants to.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I received the letter
I'm
about
sorry,
the,
Ms. Blackwell, can you state your name and address, please?
sure, Faye Blackwell, 1330 26th Street, Newport News, 23607.
Yes, ma'am.
I came today because I did receive the letter about the houses being built on 25th Street. I live on 25th Street. I live on 26th. So I took a drive over to see exactly where it was, and I saw a house with the frame already up. So I actually thought that was the house the case was about. And I was wondering, well, why are we getting a letter if the house is already up? And I understand now that there's going to be a house in between these, the house being built and the one next to it. Looks awfully small. Because, like I said, I thought the one that I saw being constructed was the 0013, but it's not. But now I'm thinking, is this going to become the norm of having these little houses in between the larger houses, and then you start to see this all over Newport News, and what that would eventually look like? And if you have a family that comes in and they don't take care of their property, then you're really close up on them, and you don't have a lot that you can really do except call the city to say they need to clean up. So I guess my concern is the aesthetics, if we get too many of these little houses kind of stuck in between. And I guess the other question, was there a single-family home there before, or is this a lot that got split up, or just what?
Okay, firstly, Ms. Blackwell, you got me between streets now. I'm not sure if you're questioning 24th Street or 25th Street.
25th Street, I mean. 25th Street is where they want to build this home,
Okay.
and
so
I
you-
live on 26.
Okay, that's what you
So,
mean.
yeah.
Okay, so you're
So
one
I
street
just-
over.
Right, so I just took a drive over on 25th to see exactly what house they were talking about, and I saw a house that's being constructed right now, and the frame was up, so I came because I was wondering, why are we having a meeting about a house where
That's
the
already
frame
being
is up,
built.
and then I understand that it's gonna be a
Okay.
house in between next to it. And it looks like that parcel is very small, like it's gonna be tight.
Right. Well, we are visiting this on behalf of the lots that are being requested for construction.
Right.
So that's a lot size because of there has been a house there before on that lot.
That would be, I guess that size, it would have been that small?
It,
the previous house?
yes. Yes.
It just seems like after a while, if this starts to become a norm, because everybody's like, well, I'm not everybody, but you're starting to see more homes coming up, you know, people moving in. We do need the housing, but I don't think you want it so clustered like that on a street.
Right.
You know, like I said, what it's going to look like years down the road.
Right.
And our streets, you can only park on one side of the street. And it's the same with 25th, 26th, you can only park on one side of the street.
I think
The
when,
lots are bigger on
Am I gonna-
26.
6, right.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Hold on
think-
just a second. Who's, Katie, go ahead. Oh, look, I'm sorry. Let's go back to the
Excuse me.
department. Yes.
No, I just wanted to say what's happening is there's been quite a bit of activity on 25th and 26th Street, streets. And I think right now, there are at least 3 houses under construction
right.
On
on
the same block.
26th and 25th Street. And it looks, and I agree with her, that it looks as if another house could not get in there. But because it's a 37 and a half, they can come in and apply for this special exception. But it does begin to feel congested
Right.
as you begin to fill in those lots. And that's what's happening right now.
Right.
Is it also fair to suggest that when many of these adjacent homes were constructed, the setbacks were not in place as they are today? So some of these homes were able to be larger in footprint based on lot size than today's builders, developers are able to design and construct.
I don't think they were larger in footprint. But you are right. The houses were closer to the street and you didn't have driveways.
Right.
Correct.
That broke up the sidewalk. You had the alleyways in the rear. A lot of those homes have been torn down because a lot of them either have been abandoned, sold, I don't know what. But you're looking at a community where you did have some relief with that vacancy in between those blocks. And now those blocks are filling in, and that's becoming an issue. And not only are they filling in, they're filling in now with driveways.
Driveways.
So it's really breaking up that the sidewalk and that street pattern.
Is it also fair to say, though, that when I look at this map, that each one of these squares is an actual
Block.
plot of land?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's
there's some
separated
smaller.
out and designated by the city?
Well, when Newport News was originally platted, it was platted with 25-foot wide lots. That did not necessarily mean there'd be a single-family house on each 25-foot wide lot. What has happened over time is that did occur when Newport News, after World War II, had a housing shortage, and people started to fill in those smaller lots. And then what happened over time is that people started moving to the suburbs and leaving those small homes and those small lots. The alleyways were eventually vacated, which created another problem with redevelopment of that community as a traditional neighborhood. And this is another wave of people coming in building homes. But they're building homes that were a lot larger than what was originally there.
Right.
So, I mean, they're large, they have driveways, some have 3-car garages, some have 2, and some have 1.
Right.
And it begins to feel very congested after a while.
So when they build these, do they come in seeking for 2 plots of land mostly, or they try to work within the
They're
small?
building on one.
They're building on 50-foot wide lots. They're taking 2 25s and building on 50-foot wide. If they're
Correct.
less than that, then they're coming before you asking for an
For the
exception to
special. Right.
build on it.
Right, which is where we are today. I hope that helps, Ms. Blackwell.
Yeah, it does. But
But I
somebody was still concerned about that,
We
that
do hear the
closeness.
concern. I think the
Correct.
balance always been, as you see the neighborhood starting to transform, and I live down there. So, the vacant lots was causing sometimes a lot of blight, the way people were using it.
Right, right.
And so, and plus, just because of our city dynamic right now, we really need housing stock. So the choices was the balance of selling allowing the lots to be available for auction, which some of the people could have bought the lots next to them
And
and
then
expanded their
that's
home.
right.
Or when they came in, one of the things that was asked of the developers was that they build single-family homes and not investment homes or anything, and not use it for investment, but actually create some starter homes in our neighborhood for young families to begin their journey in home ownership. And so that was the balance that had to be taken in. Yes, it's going to feel a little tight. I agree.
And what kind of guarantee would you have if someone bought a place that they wouldn't turn it into a rental property?
Well, you
I
can
mean,
you
see?
can never say you can never say that.
Exactly,
But,
because they own it.
right. But
What we
we
do,
do have an ordinance that we did put into effect a couple of years ago that says that you cannot do an Airbnb unless you have lived there at least 6 months. And Newport News is now honoring, trying to follow up
you
with
can
that
rent it.
ordinance for people
you could rent it.
that you just cannot buy a house, flip it, and then try to rent it as an Airbnb without you having to live in it for 6 months.
That's
But
not
you can
very
still
long.
rent it. You can still
you
rent
can
it.
still rent the property. You have a question,
You know,
lady?
I just want to make a comment. It is an interesting dilemma because as each of these houses start to have driveways, it takes
shifts.
away a lot of the street parking. I mean, you barely have any street parking. And then, it cuts the sidewalks and it does change the, I don't want to say this. It does change sort of the texture of the neighborhood by having a driveway, and not, you're taking away a lot of street parking, which, I live in Hilton Village, and our street parking is gold. I mean, so it's an interesting dilemma. I hadn't thought about it from that standpoint, the shift it takes out of the traditional neighborhood into this sort of quasi-suburban neighborhood when the lots aren't big enough.
Right. So I can only tell you, Ms. Blackwell, that people like yourself that come down and talk to us will constantly keep it in front of us, so we're paying close attention to what's going on down there.
And it may be a good idea that you guys go out there and take a look.
Oh, we
and
do.
see.
We do.
Oh,
We
okay,
do.
good.
We do.
Just
So
because we
you
don't
can
necessarily
actually
live
see.
on the
I
block.
mean, I live there.
He lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just 'cause
Yeah, I'm
we
out
do.
there all
We
the
do
time.
travel through the neighborhood. We are there.
Yeah, that's my neighborhood too. I remember when the alleys were open and the garbage men drove down
Drove
the
down
alley
the
and picked
alleys.
up
Yes,
trash
ma'am.
and things, but
I need
Thank
your
you. Well, that's
testimony. I need
Yes,
your
sir.
testimony for my shop.
I'm sorry.
I need your testimony for my shop at East End. I'm East End.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're keeping our fingers crossed that, like I said, I know we need housing, but we don't want to be so clustered in. And then a few years later, it start to look bad.
Well,
Because it's starting to look good right now with the new houses coming up. We want to keep it that way.
we look forward to you coming back and making sure that you keep us accountable.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Blackwell, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any more questions for Ms. Blackwell? Hearing none. And that was the last of the two cards I had for this item. So I will close the public hearing, and the matter is before the commission.
Chairman, I move that matter before us today, SC 2025-001, Toby Homes LLC, move forward with a vote in support of.
All right.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any additional, do you want to add? No? Please call roll, Ms. Brown.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Michaud,
Or,
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Stachel,
Or,
Commissioner Black,
I'd like to say I also share Ms. Blackwell's concern.
thank you.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Commissioner Taylor,
4.
motion unanimous, 6-0.
Okay, this item will be heard by the Board of Zoning Appeals on November the 18th, 2025. Thank you very much. The next item we have on our agenda is SC tag 2025, tag 0014, Toby Homes, and that would also be presented to us by Ms. O'Keefe.
Yes. Now presenting application SE 2025-14 by Toby Homes LLC, the applicant and the owner, to construct a 2-story, single-family detached dwelling on a non-conforming lot of record with less than 50 feet of frontage. And here's the property located at 1343 24th Street, containing .0861 acres. And an aerial map of the property with the property highlighted in yellow. To the north, east, and west are single-family homes and vacant parcels on property zoned R4 single-family dwelling. And here is a zoning map of the property in the area. The property as well as surrounding properties are zoned R4 single-family dwelling and have been since the citywide comprehensive rezoning became effective August 1st, 1997. As stated in our previous case, SE 2025-13, the Board of Zoning Appeals may grant a special exception to homes on non-conforming lots less than 50 feet, provided they meet certain conditions. First, the proposed dwelling will be 2 stories with a front porch of similar design to the majority of the single-family homes on the block, meeting the zoning ordinance. B, the proposed front yard setback will be 12.9 feet to the covered front porch, which meets the average of the block and the 10-foot minimum required setback. C, side building setbacks are shown as 5.25 feet along both the eastern and western property lines, meeting the minimum required setback. And D, the plan includes an attached 18-foot garage recessed 18 feet from the front of the dwelling. And E, ensure that the proposed home is in harmony with the surrounding properties. The proposed home will have a front porch with a 6-foot depth, traditional double-hung windows, and a hip roof line facing the street. For the exterior of the home, brick material for the first floor elevation and for the foundation, along with heavy gauge vinyl, have been added as conditions of approval. In conclusion, the proposed request to construct a 2-story single-family dwelling on a non-conforming 37.5-foot wide lot meets all applicable criteria stipulated in the zoning ordinance. The Department of Planning recommends that Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a special exception SE 2025-14, allowing the construction of a single-family detached dwelling on a non-conforming lot of record with less than 50 feet of frontage, subject to 9 conditions, including that the applicant shall submit building elevations to the Department of Planning to be reviewed and approved by the Director of Planning prior to the issuance of a building permit. 2, the foundation, front porch steps, and first floor elevation shall be made of brick material. 3, that any vital siding on the home shall be made of heavy gauge quality with a minimum thickness of 0.44 millimeters and all other standard conditions. The 9 conditions are detailed in the staff report and will be part of the BZA approval. And finally, any questions?
Yes. Ms. Okiki, I like the rendition that you provided in the package about the house sitting on the property. But I question, as I look at it again, the house and the car sitting next to it.
Yes.
Is that showing?
No, it is not showing the exact parcel that the house will be on, as per the builder, but it does give a representation of what the final materials and what the final home will look like,
Okay.
regardless of, it is not on the correct parcel.
Okay. Because the curb cut-in was my question. In the
Yes.
park, we just discussed the parking issue.
Yes. So it is on, actually will be on the parcel adjacent to that property that it is shown on.
Okay.
Because one of the things it shows, and I'm rolling over what Mrs. Blackwell said earlier, one of the things it shows, it makes it look like there's a pretty wide lot, pretty wide yard, because you're not showing the walkway, the concrete walkway to the front steps where, basically you have hardly tiny little front yard.
Right.
And I understand when these lots were first developed, there were no cars, so that it was a whole nother ballgame in land plan, the way the land was used, but it's a little deceptive, but.
Okay, hold on. And Commissioner Williams has a quick question for you.
Just overall, just looking over the overlay, it just seems like the house, staring down at it, the house on the left looks really close to the it looks really close. What assurances are we going? Huh?
It is really close.
Yes.
They get what, only 5-foot buffer?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get 5 feet on each side.
But they also have 5. What's the setback on the other yard?
It
The other
comes,
house?
it totals out to be 10, right? 5 on each side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be, but you have to remember, these are infill lots. So you're going to have houses that aren't holding that 5 feet because they were built prior to that
Right,
requirement.
but the new houses,
The new houses have to
New houses
hold
would
it.
be required to be built.
the existing houses may not have had the setback.
Correct.
Right.
And on 24th Street,
They're
you
tiny
have
lots.
parking on both sides of the street.
Okay.
So when you're driving along 24th Street, you really only have one lane.
Right.
And you have some really small lots on 24th Street.
Was there any, Ms. Kokiki, was there any consideration as, when looking at this special exception because of the closeness compared to the other lot where it seemed like you had a little bit more wider berth? This seems like it's going to be really close and tight. What was the thinking and the analysis of the planning staff regarding the approval of this particular lot?
Well, yes, it is a narrow lot, and so we do have the 5-foot setbacks on the side in place, at least that allow for some room given the smallness of the lot, as well as do allow some reasonable accommodations for the builder in building the home as well. So with Mr. Toba, we did go through a few different plans for the property, some including a detached garage, some including an attached, but did go through and find the best configuration for the space in the end.
Thank you.
But when we're looking at special exceptions, if they meet the criteria, we have to bring them forward to you with the recommendation, and the recommendations for approval because they meet the criteria. There is, I think the last criterion states that it has to be compatible with the neighborhood. That's the only one where you can be a little bit more objective.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Okiki?
I share the concerns from Ms. Blackwell in the previous application. And in this particular case, this is the narrowest house along that part of the
Right.
street.
One of, yes, it's got to be the smallest plot, but
Yeah.
we do have, thank you, Ms. Any other questions for Ms. Okiki?
Is the actual size of this lot different than the size of the lot? I know the house dimensions are the same. Are the lot dimensions the same?
No.
Yes.
For the two lots today,
The one that we just approved
yes,
Yeah,
versus this
37
one?
and a half.
The lot
wide feet.
dimensions are exactly the
Yeah.
same?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the house.
It's just
The main difference of this street and this particular property is that the other parcels along that side of the street are
That's
at
right.
least 50 or 75 feet wide.
So this
If
really
you look
stands
at
out.
Exhibit A1, you'll see the difference in the size of the lot along that
Yeah.
side of the street.
It's a much bigger lot.
And that's what
I
makes-
see.
And that's
The
what makes
other-
it, that's
the
what makes
other-
it stand out so clearly that it's small, because the lots around it are very large, considerably larger.
I see. Yep.
What would be the possibility of using the driveway with runners rather than a solid filled driveway? Just to bring a little bit more grass in the front yard, lawn, a little bit more lawn.
I mean, that's a possibility, but what stops the owner from filling it in eventually anyway?
Turning it into a solid
Well, if you
driveway.
fill it in with another material, it does prevent that appearance of just solid concrete all the way along the street.
Right.
And that's one thing that bothers me about this. Once you get driveways in every one of the houses, and then they fill that in all the way with concrete, it looks like concrete, and it looks, from enough out of an angle, the whole thing looks like a continuous front yard of concrete. Whereas if you put the runners in, even if they fill it in with brick or something with a contrasting color, it breaks up that appearance of just one solid concrete surface.
It appears that's what the neighbor has.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, there is one house that has the runners, and that's on one side of this
Oh,
particular lot.
Right.
All right.
And question, and then if you don't put a house here, because it's a separate lot, the use of that lot becomes what in the future? Like, what would the city do long-term?
Well, I mean, the city doesn't own it.
Correct.
Right.
The city doesn't own it, so the owner could sell it to one of the adjacent property owners, or the owner could come before you like they are now to build on it, but they have the right to request
a
A
building
special
on it.
exception, yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you, Ms. Okiki.
Thank you.
Have a good one. I would like to declare the public hearing open on this case. And all I have is Mr. Graves is still here available to answer any of our questions that we may have. Mr. Graves, please come forward and restate your name and address.
Chairman, Roy Graves, 900 Daffia Circle, apartment 123, Newport News,
Yeah, I
Virginia,
already did that.
23601.
So any questions to the developer in regards to this piece of property?
For you as a developer, Mr. Graves, it just seems like that house to the left is really, really close.
Yeah, that definitely.
What contingencies do you have to make sure that that property owner doesn't get any residue damage or anything from your construction work? How do you operate to give assurances that disruption, as to the best of your ability, is minimal as you're building on this much smaller lot, it seems like?
Definitely understand the concern, Mr. Williams. Now, we'll have the silk fence, of course. And as far as me, I'll be basically kind of like a project manager, watching safety measures out there while they're, doing the work.
Come closer to the mic, sir.
Yo, bring it down. so
Okay,
we can hear you.
sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, as far as, like I said, the silk fence will be out there, and we'll have somebody on site, as of like myself, project manager, watching the location, making sure the work, safety measures are being performed correctly and within the ordinances of the city. And, like I said, being on standby to address any issues, while it's actually being done out there. And, again, for Mr. Black, your concern about the driveway, that is an option that we definitely can take into consideration about, breaking it up contrast instead of doing the concrete, maybe doing the runners on that.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Graves, please? Thank you, Mr. Graves.
okay.
For
All right,
coming
thank you,
forward.
Chairman.
I do have a question. And it seems like we have some concerned citizens in the audience, and I'm wondering if they would consider coming forward or filling out a card. It seems like they want to speak on behalf of this. I'm just reading body language, so, and I read.
Gentleman back there.
So will you please, someone help the gentleman in the back to fill out a card and bring that forward? And while we're doing that.
Come on out.
You can just
We-
come on.
You just come to the podium. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get to you before you got to the podium, sir, but just come to the podium, state your name and your address, please.
Okay, hello, everyone. My name is Terrence Moore, 1345 24th Street. And actually, my wife and I, we're here because we have concerns about the property. Our family has owned the property at 1345 for over 50 years, so we remember when there was a dwelling on the property, and it was so close that it was very difficult for people had to kind of walk sideways even to get to the back. We're concerned about, first of all, we contacted the city a while back in regards to the property hasn't been taken care of. I don't know if that has anything to do with you guys, but, and we're concerned that if the grass has been cut one time over the last summer, we're concerned about whoever's owning the property, what's gonna take place once they put the dwelling on it. There's trees on it that's hazardous. The city codes has confirmed that. That has done structural damage to, it destroyed our gazebo as well as our shed. So we're in the process of getting in touch with whoever we need to get in touch with in regards to taking care of that matter. But it's going to be really tight. And I agree with Ms. Blackwell that was up here earlier. We have concerns about all these little lots like that being filled. The city is doing a much better job with improving the dynamics of how it's looking in the East End. But these small lots is a concern. And we want to just make sure the developers, they have the best interest of the community.
I'm sorry, sir, and I was writing when you stated your name. What was your last name again, sir?
Moore, sir.
Mr. Moore, have you met the developer of that proposed developer of the property next to you?
No, I haven't.
Because your house is right next to this house, right?
Yes, right next to it. Ours is the green one, the greenhouse.
Okay, okay. All right, I can see your concerns.
Yes,
All right. Mr. Moore,
yes.
Mr. Graves.
How you doing, sir?
I didn't do that to be
Yeah.
facetious or anything like that, but I think what's important here is that you guys really need to talk
Okay,
because he owns the property.
okay,
And with all your other concerns about the lot, grass being cut, the trees being cut, the damage to your property, now you have a face to put with the name. He owns the property.
okay. That's why we came here, hopefully to meet.
Now you know who that person is, but his reference to what he's comes down here for is special exception. That's all we can address right now.
Understand.
But as far as what goes in there and how it looks, and we already spoke about the conditions of what's going on when they're building on that property, how we can avoid it damaging your property or disrupting your lives, then that's the gentleman you're going to need to speak to,
Okay,
and then unfortunately, come back to us,
all right.
to the city. So,
Okay, thank
any
you
other
for your time.
before you leave, Mr. Moore? Any questions for Mr. Moore?
No, we appreciate y'all coming down
we do.
and continue to spread the word to the people. And I'm saying this as someone who's a Southern, who live in the Southeast community on the East End.
Yes,
Continue to encourage people to advocate for the community as it's building up. We're doing, like you said, our city is doing a great job in meeting a lot of needs in that section of the city, but we always could use community input.
okay,
And that's why I did this, because I saw you and the young person with you, and I could read your body language. I said, you had something to say, so please come down and say it.
okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, like my mom used to say, her mouth closed, never get fed.
That's right.
All right.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you,
sir.
All right.
All right, with that being said,
Can I ask one more question?
yes, sir.
To Mr. Graves, did you all just recently acquire this property, or have you owned this for some time?
Please come back up, Mr. Gray.
He said he'd been there for 50 years. Oh, you're talking about?
No,
Mr. Graves.
yes.
We've owned it for a while now.
You have?
Yeah, and I understand Mr. Moore's concern, but like far as the trees, we make sure when we go out there to develop the land that we cut all the trees that are on our yard, and even if it's some leaning onto our yard, we'll get those cut too, because we already have the guys out there doing the work. So that's something we can talk about with with him. And as far as because the size of the house will be around 27 feet around it, but
Right.
if need be, we have to change the plan, but that's another option or concern we take into account to making that house just maybe a foot or two smaller. But like I said, we will have to redo the plans and get new plans, but that's maybe an option.
Well, that's why I wanted to introduce you to each other,
Definitely,
because
yeah,
you really, he's willing, Mr. Moore, to talk to you and work with you. And that's all we're asking, that you guys work together. These lots are, if you look up, they're cookie cutter are kind of way up and down both these streets. So we've got to work it out.
Mr. Gray, just really quick, how many houses now are you having developed over the last few years?
I don't know the exact amount. It's over 12 or 15. Yeah, it's over 12.
Have you heard any complaints from anybody else as you have been in part of your process so far in building in the Southeast and the East End community?
No, not up until now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're familiar with you.
We appreciate you investing in the community. Thank you.
I just have a comment. The builders that are coming before us, they're following the ordinances. I mean, maybe the overarching discussion is the ordinances, not the individual builder or the individual house, but the overall ordinances, the setbacks, the sidewalks, the garages, where the garages are. I mean, maybe that's the discussion.
Yeah.
It may be a combination of both. Because, well, this is internal to the bench here. So,
Okay.
any other questions for Mr. Graves? Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
With that being said, I'd like to close the public hearing with this note. Thank you all for coming down and talking on this one. I look forward to hearing the conversation that you guys have afterwards. So with that being said, the matter now is before the commission.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Are you looking for this? I've already gone through that question. The matter is now
Wait a
before the
minute, hold
commission. What are you stopping me for?
Mr. Chair, I believe you have an email that was asked to be part of the record,
Yes.
and you've,
I don't think,
I don't know if you have it.
We've asked a
don't.
question.
I've asked the question, we've asked the questions from the memo, but then I didn't know if you wanted
No,
me to
you
read
have
them.
to, it
Where is it
specifically
at?
asks that it be entered into the official record for both cases.
I don't think we have it.
You know,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
got
just
it.
optional.
How did
There's-
it get? Okay.
So you
I thought it was optional to read
You
it.
could get 30 of those, and then you'd be here all day.
Correct.
Well, just
I'm just saying it's
mention-
optional.
No, I just meant that he should
Right.
mention it, that's all.
As note, I would like to note that we received the memo
That's all.
and that we've addressed the questions. The memo came from Dr. Easy and Miss Vaughn G. Mitchell. And the questions that was stated within the memo, we've already addressed those. We brought each of those, both myself, Mr. Williams, and other members of the commission, and they have been addressed and been answered by the developer. So with that being said, I will now again close the public hearing, and the matter is before the commission.
Chairperson Taylor, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the Planning Commission for approval of the special exception SC-2025-0014.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any other questions, any more comments? Please call roll, Ms. Brown.
Commissioner Michelle,
4.
Commissioner Williams,
4.
Commissioner Scotcho,
4,
Commissioner Black,
4.
Commissioner Bowditch,
4.
Commissioner Taylor,
4.
motion unanimous, 6-0.
Thank you very much. This item will be heard by Board of Zoning Appeals on November 18th, 2025. Thank you again all for coming down and speaking on behalf of this item and these items. Next item on our agenda is Executive Secretary Report. Ms.
Good
McAllister.
afternoon. Good afternoon. And I just wanted to comment on the previous cases. There has been discussion about development on much smaller lots within the city, particularly in the southeast community. And I think when you look at that, you have to take into consideration that the driveway has a major impact on the street, and that if we want to preserve that on-street parking, you can't have parking on the lot itself. So all of that we would need to take into consideration, and actually, I would say, put together some criteria and some designs for the community for lots at 37 and a half. Definitely, we go lower than that. So that will probably be coming. September 23rd, City Council approved. They did approve 2 conditional use permits for the small motor vehicle repair shop at 15412 Warwick Boulevard and the operation of a preschool and daycare center at 69 Saunders Road. The 2 text amendments for the vape shops, they approved. However, they did make changes.
to the hours.
They added hours of operation as limitation and only allowed in C2, not C1 and C2. Also approved the 2 zoning text amendments that were state regulated. And on November the 5th, we have the Old Fort Eustis Boulevard rezoning coming back to us. We have conditional use permit for a sign at Ivy Baptist Church, and a conditional use permit for a car wash, J. Clyde Morris Boulevard, and zoning text amendments for ice vending machines. That's all I have.
And that's November 5th, you said?
November 5th.
Thank you very much. Committee reports. Mr. Black, I know we attended one together.
Yes, passed out the agenda and the agenda package to everyone so you could see the things we discussed at the last meeting. And I think we had a pretty good attendance, and we've gotten good feedback from the people in the meetings. It's it's an exciting piece of Newport news, and that area has potential for really being something that the city could be proud of in the future. The more input we get from the people who live and work there, the better it will be. If you look at the impact that this stretch of Jefferson Avenue can have on the future, there's so much potential, because at one end you have, well, the whole street, Route 17, which is a major north-south connecting road, and there are advantages and opportunities at each end for development within that area. So I think it's getting more and more attention, and it would be great to even get an increase in that. So, but I've talked with a few people who have businesses along there, and it would be really good to get some input from some of the larger companies and businesses.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that too. Please, if you can, commissioners, put the word out that this conversation is being had. It's a South Central Jefferson Avenue project. So please come out for those that are working and have businesses and have commitments on that that section of the city. 'Cause these are very detailed conversations that we're having. So, thank you very much, Commissioner Black. Any more committee reports? We just had the Regulations Committee report today. Flora, you want to fill us in on what was discussed?
So today we started the discussion about data centers and any regulations that we might want to put in place. So it was a general conversation today, more to come.
Yes. More to come on that one. Any unfinished business? Hearing none, seeing none. Any new business? None.
I would just encourage my fellow commissioners that when there are ribbon cuttings or there are new businesses opening, or there was an edge business real estate sort of development 2-day event about 2 weeks ago, that when you see these things, keep your eyes out and
That was by
attend.
invitation only.
It was by invitation only. Well, the planning commission should have been invited, to say the least.
What that's
Well, they go sit with that one.
But
We will attend those that we're invited to.
yeah.
But that's something that probably needs to be fixed up top. But when those things are out, it's always nice to see commissioners at these events. So
Again, we will attend those we're invited to. Thank you very much.
Some
Thanks.
people get special invitations.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowditch. Share that information sooner than later. We'll be right there.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
We don't want to crash your party.
Any more new
Get us
business?
in, man.
Hearing none, I'd like to declare this meeting adjourned.